Down for 100 Tesla units when they first announced, and these will be some of the first 15 units that we put into operation here in Modesto as part of the grant program. Our average distribution range is about 400 miles. So these are designed, and we're continuing to work with Tesla and partnering with getting it to the right range. But we believe that this technology will meet our needs in our distribution network. So we have new technology that we don't operate today, and then we are replacing older diesel technology with new battery electric or near zero emission natural gas. Well, Modesto's a great operation for us. We have a highly engaged work group here. It's a great location within the California community, and then the partnership that exists here in California with CARB, with the Air District, San Joaquin Valley, and others has been able to, get them all together in this location and really be a showcase for PepsiCo and Frito-Lay.
Thanks for joining us once again. Today we focus once again on the Pepsi version of the Tesla Semi that's based in Sacramento. As you know, in general, Frito-Lay / Pepsi has decided to place 21 trucks there. And those trucks are somewhat unique because unlike the trucks that are in Modesto that are delivering for Frito-Lay, where those vehicles are just going to distribution centers, in the case of Teslas that have been placed in Sacramento by Pepsi, they're actually making direct deliveries to Walmart's, Albertsons, and other stores. So we expect to see a lot more video of the vehicles in action. So today what we wanted to focus on is sort of a 2.0 of our initial show. And the reason is that this Semi is garnering a whole bunch of attention because of, in particular, the 500-mile range capability. In our first show, the report we got was that there was a plan by Pepsi to simply keep it on a 100-mile range route and leave it at that. But it turns out that the plan actually is to initiate with 100-mile range or routes for Pepsi, and then as drivers get comfortable with the vehicles at that range, they would begin to use the full 500-mile capability of the vehicle. So that is kind of a switch. There's a hold your breath phenomenon for those who love Tesla like us, as well as for those who don't, but need to have the utility as to can the Semi really go the 500 miles with a full complement of load? Because if this in fact works, obviously it's a game changer, well overused word, but also it starts to make the need for a lot of entities to think about things like hydrogen and other sort of methods go away because of all the benefits associated with using electricity, including the ability to generate that power via many different processes, including the sun as well as wind. So hence, I think this is actually a very big deal domestically and internationally if in fact this works. You'll also note that Tesla seems to recognize this issue as well, because they're not really giving away information about how they pull this off. But eventually the word will come out, obviously not now. So we're kind of focused on what we have in hand and can be reviewed. So the completion of the Sacramento charging facilities and receipt of the first group of trucks facilitates the process of establishing how the trucks will be used in that market. Pepsi has elected to run the Semi on its 100-mile route for the trucks currently. The goal is to be cautious given the amount of weight being hauled to ensure there are no issues with the heavy loads being hauled. Once that checks out, they will begin the process of expanding routes used to the full 500-mile capabilities of the trucks to move heavy water weight. The delay related to the fact that heavier water is more difficult trucking effort. It was thought that this Semi could not handle the full weight but that is not the case. The plan currently is for a routine to be established with the truck and the operations in Sacramento and the rollout to the Midwest and to the East Coast. This plan seems somewhat strange given that Pepsi is not planning to roll into Southern California operations given the pollution there. It is also a surprise that Southern California is not the focus because they have higher fuel costs than anywhere else in the country. The combination of fuel savings and pollution reduction should make California the ideal place for Tesla Semi now, and not to mention the fact that, there was a discussion of an effort to only take 500-mile range trucks, given that is all that is available for now, and then adding 300-mile trucks when they are available. Overall, the plan for the Semi seems to make sense. Pepsi has the potential to replicate the Frito-Lay renewable only production model across the U.S. and achieve huge cost savings to go with pollution reduction. Locations across the country with the highest amount of daily sunlight and perhaps good wind power might be the logical destinations for the truck. So this is a further reason why I find it strange that there's not an effort to establish the operations out of Southern California and perhaps concentrate there with the number of vehicles, because one can more easily generate the electricity needed from the sun, as well as help be part of the solution when it comes to huge pollution problems in greater Los Angeles. So stepping back from all of this, away from just the data provided by Pepsi, obviously I think this is a really exciting circumstance. The biggest problem I see with this whole thing is with the delivery of the 500-mile range vehicle and its ability to now go into hand of customers for routine deliveries. I believe that this shows that it's a huge threat to the target market that Elon is focused on. As he shared, 70% of freight is within a 200-mile range. So if you have a 500-mile battery, that allows you to go the full 200 out and the 200 back. The other issue that comes up that's off the back end here is we've had 5 years now, and there are a number of competitors with Daimler, Benz leading the charge, Volvo, a number of other makes, who are all delivering vehicles on short ranges in this space. The question that comes up is, how will all this work out? If in fact Tesla is delivering 500 miles for $250K, why is it that competitors are unable to deliver a similar, range and price for a vehicle? There are a lot of answers to that question, but the net result right now is it potentially leaves the entire marketplace to Tesla as companies try to figure out what they're going to do in the space. The other note here that came out of the press releases via Reuters from Pepsi is that there was a $15 million grant, and evidently there's a $40,000 government subsidy that goes into these trucks as well that have helped Pepsi address the costs. Obviously those kind of dollars are going to assist. One of the hidden numbers that we haven't seen also is that it was articulated that Pepsi actually did a lot of R&D related to the implementation of the process of the trucks. The obvious things we can see are the permitting process and the build-out process for the new charging facilities. But the suggestion was that there are a lot more costs than we're seeing in just buying the truck, and those weren't really articulated. I don't know why that is, but one would think that perhaps it's a competitive situation for Pepsi relative to, other entities that are trying to match what they're up to. But I think that over time we'll come to figure out what all those numbers might mean. I actually think that there was a comment made by the head of the Pepsi trucking operation, Mr. O'Connell, that when you're looking at potentially running these vehicles for 7 years and 1 million miles, the amount of cost savings related to the transition to these vehicles and electric easily makes up for what the additional implementation costs might be. And we're going to be finding out if this turns out to be the case. I guess the key, though, is that now that this has hit the ground running, I believe we're going to end up with a huge battle for folks to get a hold of their copies of these vehicles. The only mystery that I would say that still lurks, that needs to be answered, is when our competitor is going to meet the Tesla competitive threat with price and performance similar in nature. And the answer is obviously not right now, and we shall keep you posted if and when they do. But it just seems to me like it's a huge rout when it comes to Tesla. The one fly in the ointment that I haven't explored extensively is there is some Twitter chatter regarding truckers talking about the central driving position making it hard to see out the vehicle, as well as reach out the window to interact with toll booths as trucks exit and enter sort of delivery situations. Obviously I think it could be an issue, but from the Tesla standpoint, it could be beneficial because there is no redesign when it comes to entering markets that are right-hand drive. So it'll be interesting to see how sort of that critique is addressed by Tesla and others over time, but seems kind of minor to me given all the other benefits that are generated. At any rate, just a reminder, please take time to like and subscribe. Our health tip today is just a reminder. The 25 leg lifts with a 5-pound weight or without a 5-pound weight is a big deal, and just wanted to encourage you to try to execute that on a daily basis. We also wanted to encourage you to remember to try and maintain the same sleep schedule time of go to bed and wake up for a couple of weeks to get your body into a circadian rhythm that'll result in better sleep and better rest in the process. At any rate, again, this is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Tschüss, German, au revoir, French, Lehit Road, Hebrew, Chodah, Farsi, Trasicha, Russian, Ni Hao Ma, Chinese, Konbanwa, Japanese, Heido, Swedish, Arrivederci, Italian. And in Jamaica, we say, enough respect, walk good, have a great day, and bye for now.